but we can roll over into Jaw Jackin. Let me pull this up, and we can talk about anything that anybody wants to talk about for the next 30, 45 minutes. Let me get situated over here. See what we got. All right, let's roll over to Jaw Jackin. I'm going to roll this, and then we'll get into Jaw Jackin for today. If you got questions, we can go over any of the scenarios or any of the news stories today and discuss those. But let's move into Jaw Jackin. All right, I would do it like Jerry. Hey, everybody, we're Jaw Jackin. All right, we're into Jaw Jackin. Go ahead and chunk in any questions that you've got. Oh, what is this? Oh, there's a ticker. Oh, I had the wrong thing. Whoops. All right, everybody, throw questions in and I'll get them answered. Let me go through here and see if I can find out. What we got in. I think we got Tatted IT. Tatted IT, you got the you now have the baton. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put this up on. So when the ransomware the rebranding at night ransomware group came on, this is what I thought about for Jerry. Like, whoop, 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 hey. Because he's constantly saying that the Ransom Hub group is or revolves around in some way, shape, or form Alpha V or Black Hat or something along those lines. Oh, Flakinator saying I need glasses. All right, I don't have the spectacles like Jerry does, but I guess I can pull out the nerd blue blockers. There we go. Now we're Jaw Jackin. I have a question since I am, let's see. Well, it's not. There we go. Man, looks like Restream's having some issues. It wouldn't let me put stuff up there. There we go. Now we got our nerd glasses on. Let's see. What is this from Space Tacos? How much do you OSINT in your current job? So Space Tacos, I don't OSINT a lot. But running the network, running firewalls, watching traffic, when I see something that is peculiar to me, then I go OSINT that. Or if I have something that comes up where somebody's doing something, then I will go OSINT and try and find information on what's going on. But as a daily thing, I don't OSINT a lot. I'm not Mr. OSINT. James Randolph, can we talk about the new Adobe Terms of Service? It's everywhere and gives them usage rights to all your stuff. Oh, I've not seen that. Let me see. Now, of course, we're not going to sit here and read this whole thing. So you know what? I'm going to have to. I feel like everybody remember the South Park episode where, what was it? They were using their iPad. I think they were basically saying it was Apple with the EULA. That's kind of what I feel like right now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go through and read all of this. I will have to go through, James, and look at that and find out what's going on with it. I have not read it, nor have I seen anything about it yet. I've been head down, been elbow deep in different work. I posted now. Janelle has it. Oh, okay. Giselle has the baton. Let's see what we got here. FedEx. Straight facts. Cell phone providers were having issues again 2 days ago. Ham radio is super important. That is a great point there, FedEx. Ham radios are still, I guess, in that sense, they are super important. And I did hear about cell phone providers having issues. I actually didn't have issues. Once again, I think they were saying that it was AT&T, and I don't know who the other one was. I wasn't paying much attention, but I do know, like, I got a call saying, "Hey, you know the cell phone providers are down." And I said, "Oh, really? Which one?" They said it's AT&T, and I said, "I use AT&T. It's not me." So it looks like it was. I'm not gonna say it's something malicious. I'm gonna say somebody probably screwed up a BGP route or put something in DNS or some stupid networking mistake that probably took something down that they then had to reverse, and it just took a while for everything to come back up. Flakinator, any glasses will do. Well, okay, well, there you go. There's my glasses. Restream changed the way they do this now. Putting stuff on here. What else do we got? Jaw Jackin, Simply Cyber, Divine Dream. Angular, do you look at PCAP files? I have looked at PCAP files. It's not like all day long I'm sitting here looking at PCAP files. That's something along the lines like, if we have specific issues with a server or a service or a user's having problems or something along those lines, that's when you do it. I mean, PCAP is for troubleshooting. And that's it. You're not going to sit here and look at PCAP files all day long. That would be horrendous. All right, what Space Taco say? Thanks. Just wondering because today is OSINT Thursday. Whoop whoop. OSINT Thursday. We got cheap viewer. Oh yay! Cheap viewers. Looks like we got stuff coming in from Twitch. FedEx. What are your thoughts on several companies having network issues recently? Kind of just went over that. I don't think it. I think people put too much. So, kind of going back to what Jerry said with his story that he had earlier about Chinese actors and going back and listening to Jen Easterly and that whole group that spoke to Congress. After that talk, of course, anybody that pays attention to the news after that talk, everybody was like, "Oh, you're telling me China's in everything?" Well, yeah, you know what? China's in everything, and you know what? The U.S. is probably in everything over in China. It's kind of one of those things where they just don't talk about it. That being said, when it comes to issues, when it comes to like for instance with this phone stuff, I honestly believe I would put it more like a 90-10, that it was an issue with somebody doing some type of routing or something in the cell phone network versus there was a Chinese hacker or a Russian hacker that got in and hit something. Just having something go down in one specific place or affecting, I mean, You have what? 350, 400 million people in the United States. And if there's an outage and it affects 20 million people, then it's quote unquote an isolated outage, right? It didn't affect the whole company. It didn't affect the whole country. To me, something like that is more along the lines of somebody put something into some type of route or some type of DNS entry. Something got messed up, and it wasn't necessarily like an espionage attack. That's just my hot take. Y'all tell me what you think. Yeah, FedEx saying silver ham radio or meh. Man, everybody's all over this cell phone outage. When you can tell when something happens to a cell phone, everybody. And in fact, I was watching something last night, and they were talking about how we are in the age where you can't do anything without your cell phone. They were making a joke about how you sit down with your family and you're going to have a family night and everybody's going to watch a movie and you get popcorn and this and that. And then 20 minutes into the movie, you look around and everybody's on their cell phone. They're just kind of listening to the movie in the background and paying attention to what's on their cell phone versus actually watching the movie. Like we did, like we did back in my day, where you go, it's a 2-hour movie. It's a 1.5 hour and 45-minute movie. And you can't sit still long enough. There's one thing that I tell my kids, you're watching a movie, man. This used to be like the big thing. And now everybody is so enthralled with their phones, their tablets, and they want that 5-second dopamine hit. It's just crazy. Like, go sit down and watch something. Take a long breath, relax. When you get on your phone and it's, one 5-second clip, one 30-second clip, one after the other, you're killing yourself, man. All right, I do have a kind of tease or a little announcement. Let me read this real quick though. I know Jerry didn't say anything, but everybody remember today at 4:30 Eastern time, offensive OSINT. So we got OSINT fireside chat with Michelle Kahn with Jerry today, and then I believe, as far as I know, Jesse is still going to go live today. 7 p.m. Eastern time with Slay Security Plus. Jesse, you can send me a message and let me know whether or not that's true or not. But I believe tonight we'd have Security Plus. And then a little teaser for everybody that's still here. Jesse and I are working on a little project surrounding CISSP. And we may kind of do something around CISSP studies. CISSP study live. May have a CISSP stream that is in the early works, in the early talks, but we may do something along those lines to get everybody ready that wants to take CISSP, go through all the study material and move forward. And then hopefully by the end of the summer, we can have people taking CISSP. We can have a whole bunch of CISSP people out there with their either full-blown CISSP because you've been in the industry long enough, or you have your associates. Because we all know, right? When you're going to go hire for a security job, you have to have CISSP just to get in. That's a joke. You don't have to have CISSP just to get in. Just everybody seems to put that on every job. Chris Cahill, have you heard about the accident a couple of days ago of $25 billion hedge fund in Australia? I have not heard of that. I would have to look that up. Let me see. 125 billion. Y'all talk amongst yourself while I look this up. Australia. Oh, that was that. That's the Google. We talked about it a couple days ago. The Australian, where they accidentally deleted the $125 billion, the pension. That was a pension plan. Yeah, we talked. I think Jerry had that on yesterday. I think they talked about that yesterday. Cell phones are the worst. Yes, Jesse's saying cell phones are the worst. Let's see, what does FedEx say? The best way to get the kids out of. Yeah, unplug the internet, turn it off. And then call AT&T and tell them to take down their towers. Or whoever your carrier is. Let's see what we got here. Gabriel Sanchez, and 5 years experience. Let's see. I don't see this whole thing. Let's see what this says. What exactly counts as in the industry for CISSP? Does it have to be cybersecurity specific or IT in general? So when it comes to let's see if we can pull this up. When it comes to CISSP, you're supposed to have 5 years in the industry, meaning that you have been doing something security related over 5 years, but there are some exceptions. Here it is, requirements. All right, so it says candidates must have a minimum of 5 years cumulative full-time experience in 2 or more of the 8 domains. So if you don't already know, that may be too small. I don't know if y'all read that. Go away. So they have to have 2 or more of the 8 domains. So there are certain domains within CISSP. There's 8 different domains in CISSP. What they're saying is out of those 8 domains, you need to have at least 5 years experience in 2 of them. Now, understand that CISSP is, when it comes to security, I don't like saying CISSP is based on security. CISSP is based on risk. So when you think about CISSP, don't think about it as, oh, this is a cybersecurity, at least to me, it's not a cybersecurity certification. It is a business certification, a risk certification. That's my take on it. After studying it for over a year or so, it encompasses anything and everything under the sun when it comes to business risk. So it goes into cyber, it goes in deep into some things, but it's like an inch deep and a mile wide. When I say it goes in deep, they talk about cryptography and all kinds of other things, but there are questions and there are things in there like standards, like what type of fire extinguisher should you have in a server room. You don't think about that as being a cybersecurity thing, but those are the type of things that are on this test or are on this certification. So there is a lot. Let's see if we can pull up the domains. So a candidate who doesn't have the required experience to become CISSP may become an associate. So that's what I was saying. You can still take the test. You don't become a full-blown CISSP individual. You become an associate, meaning you have passed the test. You understand the curriculum, you understand everything that's going on with it, but you don't necessarily have the quote-unquote experience in those 2 domains to show that you've been working in it. So they're going to say, hey, you know all of this, so now you can say, hey, I'm an associate CISSP, and then you can go get that job and work in the industry. So domain 1 is going to be security and risk assessment. Domain 2 is asset security. You've got security architecture and engineering, communication networking security. So this I would definitely qualify on here, right? Security operations. So maybe you've been doing SOC for 2 years. Maybe you've been in a SOC for 2 years. Maybe you've done some software development and have done secure development, not just writing stuff and then not making it secure, but actually done some type of secure development. Maybe you've worked and done identity and access management. If anybody out there has worked in the industry in Active Directory or something along those lines, now you've got identity and access management. So if you've done the industry for 2 years or so, then and done Active Directory, you could say that you've got that one covered. That domain is covered. Now, as it relates to identity and access management and communication and network security, remember, just being a systems admin, you can cover a lot of the stuff in this domain, in any of these domains. So full-time experience, your work experience is accrued monthly. So there you go. If you've got 6 months of full-time experience, and you got, so that's the whole thing is, hopefully Jesse and I are going to continue to talk about it. We're going to figure out what to do, and maybe in the near future, we'll see. We may look at doing something along the CISSP. All right, what's Space Talker said? Did you see the LinkedIn post where the NSA recommends restarting your phone once a week to help combat malware and malicious scripts running in the background? No, I did not. I have not had enough time to look at my phone, much less pull up LinkedIn. I don't ever restart my phone. The only time I restart my phone is if it locks up. So I don't know how restarting your phone is going to combat malware or malicious scripts, because if you got malware or malicious scripts on there, more than likely they're set up with some type of persistence on there. So restarting your phone, it's still going to come back up. Like, what's the point? What else we got in here? Yeah, Kimberly also said you can have, so if you have, did it not show in there? You can also, you only have to have 4 years if you have a degree, and I thought there was something else in here, like if you have one of these certificate, maybe it's this one. If you have one of these certifications, you can knock off a year. You can satisfy, yeah, there it is. You can satisfy 1 year of work experience if you hold one of the approved credentials that's approved. So any of these on here would give you a full year, right? So maybe you actually haven't done any security, but you went out and you got one of these certifications. That doesn't mean that you go get AWS certified security specialist and then this one and then this one, and you're like, oh, guess what? I have 5 years. No, one certification will knock off 1 year. 5 certifications will knock off 1 year. It's just saying if you have these certifications, then you can remove 1 year of requirement. Oh, I'm saying this and I don't have it on screen. Here's all the, like Carl.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
So there's a list on here. Let me put this in the chat. There's your experience. There we go. All right, man, that caught up. Chat's flying now. So yeah, any of these that I just put in the chat, I believe I put it in there. There it comes. It came under Jerry, and it should also come under me, I believe. In a second, when chat catches up. So if you go there, that'll tell you. This one will tell you all of the certifications that you need or that you can have to remove 1 year. Only 1 year. You don't get to remove a year for each one. Five-year cleaning experience. Let's drop that. Let's see what else we got in here. Any more questions? Yeah, Kimberly's coming in hot this morning. Lots of people get it before they have years of experience. You just can't call yourself. Yeah, well, you can call your. Yeah, you can call yourself CISSP associate. You just can't call it. You can't say, "Hey, I'm CISSP." And if I remember correctly, you also need to have basically somebody give you a pat on the back to let you into the club as well. So somebody's got to vouch for you that yes, you do have those 5 years. Space Tacos, yes, CISSP is based on management. It's more CISSP and CISM, they run in the same, and they are both based on management. They're based on the higher levels. So your CISSP, your system is going to be your CISO, somebody at that higher level that has all that core management and understanding of what's going on. They're not going to be the people that are in the weeds. They're going to be the ones that are creating the policies, making sure the policies are being followed. I think Kimberly is screaming from the rooftops. You don't have to have 5 years. Yes, you do not have to have 5 years to take the test and go through it. You can pass the test. You can become an associate. You can pass another test and drop off some years. It's two. Everybody's jumping all over it. 2 or more years. We're talking about jammers. So, Flakinator, this is an example. I have a CISO that's told me that I might qualify for CISSP, even though I have never officially had a cyber job due to all of my years of IT experience. That's exactly what I was talking about. So, within those requirements, in those 8 domains, you just have to have enough time in 2 of those 8 domains doing it. And as a systems admin or as a network admin is always doing security. Believe it or not, they're making sure that stuff is flowing back and forth. CIA Triad is 100% in there. You've got to, if you're working on firewalls, that's definitely security, right? You're making sure that people can get in and out. So that would cover one of the domains. That's going to cover the networking domain, the network security, the communications and network security domain, right? So that's domain 4. And then, so if you've done any of the networking for 2 years, right? Or 5 years, if you've been in networking for 5 years, then that covers that domain. And then say you're also, as the systems admin, you're not just doing some of the networking, but you're also working with Active Directory. So you have identity and access management that you've been doing back and forth, right? So that covers it right there. That's the 2 domains. It doesn't. When we say CISSP and you need 5 years, I would, unless you just got into IT, I would almost say that everybody in this chat probably has the experience covered. So don't just go, oh, I can't be CISSP. Just know that the test is a lot. Scrolling through here, let's see. Joel Harrison says CSV. Yeah. Oh, Christopher Cahill said the NSA stuff was advice from a while ago. I must have missed that. And Space Tacos comes in and says that this, yeah, it'll kill it. That's the thing, though. That's the whole point of persistence. if there's persistence mechanisms on my computer or on my server and I shut it off, well, the computer is off. But the persistence is still going to be there when I turn it on. So when I go back and turn it on, that persistent threat or that persistent executable is still going to run and kick that off. That's what I'm getting at. So restarting your phone, so it stops it for 10 minutes. But if the persistence is in there, it's still going to run. That's what we're getting at. If that makes sense. FedEx is saying CISSP is like honey for recruiters, for HR recruiters, for sure. Kind of going through everything. It is 8:20. We got about 9 minutes left before I need to drop off. I'm going to go through here. I'm scrolling through to see if I can find. See, Taekwon Gong. Is the cybersecurity field worth? Let's see. This is a question for everybody in chat. Is the cybersecurity field worth being in? The field seems congested, or they want 4-year degrees. As of right now, I would say almost everything is congested right now when it comes to jobs. I'm seeing and hearing a lot of people saying they're having a hard time getting a job, they can't find a job, or they put stuff out. It seems like there's a lot of congestion when it comes to jobs, number one. Is it worth being in? That is a personal thing, right? I mean, if it's something you love and want to do, then it's going to be worth being in it. If it's just something that you're seeing that everybody else is doing and you just want to jump in and get on the bus, then it's probably not going to be worth it for you. So, I wouldn't say the field itself is definitely not congested. You can look out and say that there are hundreds of thousands of security jobs that need to be filled. Whether or not they're actually getting filled, that is a different conversation. They don't all want 4-year degrees. It just depends on what you're looking at. If you're going out there trying to find, hey, I want to be the security specialist for this company, then more than likely they're looking at, hey, you have to have a degree, you have to have certificates or certifications. Yeah, but if you're going and saying, hey, I want to learn and get into the field, I've never done this, I want to get into the field, and you're going to SOC, you don't need a 4-year degree to go look at logs and understand and then start understanding what's going on. You have somebody, you come in, you sit down at a desk, you have somebody that sits next to you, and they teach you how to do it. So, no, that's crazy if they're telling you that you have to have a 4-year degree to be a SOC analyst. That's not true. Kind of reading through here for everybody, see if they've got questions. If we've got anybody put a queue in front, I'm not seeing a lot of questions. Benny Blanco says, say you have malware on an iPhone, do you do a reset? Well, if you found that you have malware on there, then you would understand. You're understanding more about the back end and the OS of the iPhone in itself if you're actually finding that you have malware on there. So at that point, you would probably be able to wipe it, tear it down, do whatever you need to do. Me, if I actually found malware or something that actually infiltrated an iPhone, I'd probably get rid of the iPhone. But then again, the way you have everything set up on that phone, if you're dumping everything out to iCloud, when you get the new phone, it's going to be right back on there. SSD, is network admin really doing a lot of security configurations and the likes? 100% they are. So network administrators control whether or not something is allowed to run on the network. So they're allowing computers to talk to each other. They're allowing computers to talk to the internet. They're allowing the internet side to talk internal. They're 100% always doing security. Whether you believe that or not, they are, especially when it comes to those that are dealing with firewalls and setting up ACLs and rules. They're all day long. It's constant. And then on top of that, then now you have all of the logs that are coming through. So you need to watch and see what's coming in through those logs. Are you blocking the right people? Are you not blocking that? Do you have the right ports open? Do you have too many ports open? Are you allowing stuff to come through that shouldn't be coming through? 100%. They're always doing security. Clinton Rinaldi is asking, would you consider mentoring? I've thought about it, but I'd have to have the time to do mentoring. That doesn't mean that there wouldn't be. We've had Discord chats. I used to have Discord chats a lot at nighttime, where you could say they were kind of mentoring sessions where everybody's in there, right? I mean, to me, I don't believe that one person holds all the answers. When you get a group of people in there, you gain more from it, right? You're able to talk to somebody. So if we had a group of people, like if we were all in there and you had myself in there and Jerry in there and Eric Taylor in there and Jesse and, you know, maybe casually Joseph, if he's able to get enough money to make it to the room, you get all that experience. Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket to just talking to me or just talking to another individual, you get to ask questions and get answers and get leading answers, right? So you're able to say, hey, well, what does it mean to secure a network with a firewall? And I can talk about that, but then that bounces off of something that deals with GRC, because you have to have policies and procedures in place that then Jerry can come and grab. And then at that point, then Jerry's like, okay, well, and that happens. And then Eric Taylor chimes in and says, oh, well, that's all great and grand, but if those policies aren't followed, guess what? Now I get to come in because you've been ransomwared or your company's been hit. So now I've got to come do differ and do the forensics on all the machines. So to me, mentoring is great. One individual, you can have somebody you can bounce questions off of. I like to have multiple people to be able to talk to when it comes to something along those lines. That's just my opinion. What is this? What's your thought on the AI CEO? Personally, I didn't but so what Jerry was getting at, this is something that I've looked into, discussed with some people over the last year. So everybody's seen the explosion of AI. If the company is big enough and the company is going to be using a lot of AI, I do believe you need to have a director of AI, someone in that has the policies in place, that are walking around, not necessarily, not physically walking around, but are going around and making sure that those policies and procedures are in place and they're being followed, especially when it comes to AI, because you have users. If, say for instance, you give everybody access to, you're in a Microsoft environment, you give everybody access to, what's it called? Copilot. You give everybody access to Copilot. If you don't have policies in place for that, and it's just a run of the mill, then you could have users putting in stuff, proprietary stuff for companies, for your company, and putting it out there that is now out on the internet and not actually using the internal. I think they have private Copilot stuff, but say they're using it on the internet. You're putting proprietary stuff out there. I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Samsung. Like when AI first started, like one of their developers dumped something out there on Samsung and it was proprietary code. So it makes sense if your company is going to be all in on AI and they're attacking AI, doing everything AI, it makes sense to have somebody that's knowledgeable of AI that can come in and put policies in, that can come in and make sure that everybody is following what they need to follow and that the company itself is quote unquote safe when it comes to using it. I 100% agree with it. Just kind of skipping through. It's 8:30. I'm going to see if we can go through here real quick. Any of these last ones that I see. How do you know you're good in cyber? I'm not sure that's a question I can answer. I mean, if you're doing your job, if you're in a cyber role and you're doing your job, then I guess you're doing good. I mean, there's no, if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and your bosses are patting you on the back and telling you you're doing a good job, then you're knocking it out of the park. I thought I saw something in here. Yep, I was a network admin and did ACLs, port security, set up firewalls. There you go. All day. I mean, granted, when you do a lot of stuff with networks, it is a set it and forget it, but it's also a set it and monitor it. M. Siraj says, how's the network, or how's the market for security? I have not necessarily been in the market. I have heard that people are having a hard time getting jobs within the market, and for me, that's not necessarily the market itself. That's just the economy and the way it is right now. Many companies right now, with the way the economy is, they're trying to not necessarily scale back, but they're looking at, their ROI, right? What return on investment? What does it make? Does it make sense to have 3 people in cyber or a person in cyber, or does it just make sense to have a security admin or a systems admin that's kind of doing some of the security, and maybe have somebody on the outside doing the security, or do we hire an MSSP? Does that make more sense? Right now, from what I understand, it's the job market in general is hard. Mr. Ping says, any tips for immigrants trying to break into cybersecurity? When it comes to immigrants trying to break into cybersecurity, make sure that you actually have the right paperwork in place so you can actually get a job. And at that point, you're just like everybody else. As long as you've got paperwork that says you can get a job, then you're in the same boat as, who was it, Taekwon Gong, that was asking about, or no, Mr. Saraji. You're in the same boat. Taekwon Gong saying it's a challenge not to be pigeonholed into help desk style roles. So when it comes to help desk style roles, you get in there, you learn the stuff. Help desk is great because you get a variety of information, a variety of tasks. But once you once you have hit that tier 1, you've moved to that tier 2, you understand what's going on, start looking for other jobs. You can't be pigeonholed. If that's what you want to do, then you can do that all day long if you have that job. But if you want to continue to move up, you're going to have to continue. A field is not a field where you stay stagnant and don't learn. You learn constantly every day. I learn something every day. I try to do something every single day. Let's see. I noticed that we got 2 more questions. So, Anida Halium, I noticed that the entry-level security noted that the CompTIA Sec Plus, can you please tell me more about it? How long is the learning? I'm currently studying. So I'm assuming you're asking just for Sec Plus. And if you're asking just for Sec Plus, I've got a guy for that. Jesse Johnson does Slay Security Plus tonight, actually, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Goes over it. You can run through Security Plus, I don't know, maybe in a month. There's a lot of stuff there, but it's basic information across the board, learning and understanding what everything is, and then going and taking the test. Just depends on how bad you want it. All right, I think I've grabbed everything. It is now 8:35. We are going to boogie out. Let me look through here real quick. I don't think there's anything else. Yep, and it looks like we've hit that 8:30 mark, and everybody's starting to drop off because everybody's like me. We got jobs. We gotta go do our job. There you go. Jesse Johnson said 1 to 3 months. Air Force does it in a week. Yeah. When it comes to Security Plus, 1 to 3 months. I said a month. If you've been in the industry or around security at all for a while, then you can probably do it in a month. If you haven't and you're just jumping in, maybe give yourself 3, but it shouldn't be that big. What do you want to link to? You're saying you need a link? Oh, there you go. Yeah, there's a link for tonight. Slay Security Plus. You can go to slaysec.plus. So 2 notes. Number 1, don't forget today at 4:30 Eastern Time, we have Offensive OSINT. That's a fireside chat part 2 with Michelle Khan and Jerry. And then later tonight, if Jesse doesn't fall asleep, he will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Slay Security Plus with Jesse J. All right, everybody. With that being said, thank you all for hanging out with me for a little bit, answering questions, throwing questions out there. I will see everybody. If there is a Slay Security Plus tonight, I may see everybody there. Be in chat, jump around. I don't know. Maybe Jesse will send me a message. Maybe we can get Joseph to come on. We'll see what happens. But that being said, I will see everybody tomorrow morning for the daily cyber brief. Until then, everybody stay secure.
Content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed the Jaw Jackin. Be sure to check out the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing happening every single weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., where you can get the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, network with other professionals, and then stay for the Jaw Jackin just like you saw. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. See you in the next one.